Give them the biggest hug you can give, while keeping your heels down and rolling your hips and engaging your core and keeping your shoulders up and keeping your head up and keeping your hands forward. Yeah, it's a lot.
So you want to ride a horse? Same. Can't really blame you, they're absolutely adorable. Look at my baby girl walking up to me. And my baby boy. If you want to ride a horse, there is a whole lot that goes into it, and we're going to show you in this video how my husband went from zero riding experience to actually pretty decent. You got to start with ponies. Get your ponies. Put halters on, hop on, because you're too lazy to walk back to the barn. Why walk if you don't have to? You're going to brush these babies out. You don't want all that dirt and that hair under that pad and that saddle. It'll be too comfy. Besides, they love it. You're going to pick out those feet. You don't want all of this in their feet when they're trying to work for you. It's not comfortable. You can get things like thrush. It also can take away from traction. You also want to make sure that horseshoe is nice and secure. Chunk the saddle on up. Don't just throw it on them. Nice and swing. Make sure it fits comfortably. Secure it all and hop on your pony. Make sure you're not banging on their back as you go. This is what it should look like from a rider's perspective. Your horse should stand nicely because you've trained them and they're good. Small little boing. Just sit nice and comfortably. There's no banging. Getting off, please. I can't stress this enough. Swing that leg over and put your stomach in that saddle. Get that other foot out of the stirrup and then come down. If you don't, you have a chance of getting dragged. It's not fun, I promise you. Anyway, you get on your pony and you start walking. You don't want to just go crazy ham immediately. You gotta walk before you can run. So here we're working on some walking. Doing okay. Says his first time out in the open. Over there to the right is Chandler. My mare's giving her a bit of an issue there, but she's working it out just fine. When you start working at a walk, you just want to make sure you're in a straight line. Head, shoulders, hips, heels, all that should be in a line. Your heels, of course, you want to be pushing those down. Your weight should be in your heels. You need to be sitting up straight. And your hips are going to move with the movement of your horse. If they're not moving at a walk, they're not going to move at a trot or a canter. Your job is to kind of have your lower half should really be moving with your horse at all gates. He's taking off over there and Ren's living his life. I feel like Ben's stirrups are maybe a little bit short in here, and that's affecting there. But as you can see, his heels are ballerina mode. I read him a lot for that. As this video progresses, you're going to watch his heels kind of get down. Chandler's actually got the heel thing pretty good, especially in the English saddle. Western, it can be a little harder. You've got some real big stirrups in there. But yeah, when you're walking, your hands need to be forward. You just want to make sure that you know how to sit and balance on that horse. Mr. Rand tossing the head. Once you're solid at that walk, you're going to move to the trot. What you're seeing Ben do there is called posting. So essentially, you're going to move up and down with the horse's movements and his rhythms, like every stride or so. And you'll feel that as you sit in the trot, it's going to be bouncy. So instead of bouncing, you're essentially just catching your weight up at top and gently lowering yourself back down. Now that sounds, what am I talking about? But you kind of see as Ben's riding here and how all of that is working itself out. Right, Ben?
Yeah, one thing's for sure, I can definitely feel how I've improved over, my time in learning. I've gone from feeling like I'm very little control and, bouncing twice in the saddle with every stride to only one actual seating in the saddle. Also, you have to avoid ballerina toe, like she was saying, and that's that's fighting your own instincts. You have to not absorb shock with your toes like you normally would if you were jumping up and down. You have to absorb the shock with your thighs and your quadriceps and your calves. It's all those have to work in unison so that you're not slamming into your horse's back, which is one of the main points behind posting in the first place. You're trying to take shock away from the horse and take shock away from yourself.
Once you feel like you've mastered posting the trot, you're going to want to sit that trot. So you're going to lean back just a tad, really roll your hips to each movement of that horse, put that weight in the heels, and then you can ask for that beautiful canter. Look at him go. For first time ever cantering, I think he did a pretty good job. We're going to definitely being a little lazy on him, but of course we're working at home. It's a big reason we like to try to take him on trail, change that scene up, but I wanted to make sure he'd stay on the horse before we went off property with no gates to catch a horse. But he did really beautifully. When you're asking for that canter, you're really going to give that horse as big of a hug as you can possibly give with your legs, especially kind of that knee and that upper calf area. You really want to squeeze that in your thighs as well. You're going to get legs of a goddess by the time you're done riding. And you really want to push those heels down. That's your seatbelt in a way. If Your heels are not down your feet. You can lose your stirrups. Your feet can go through. All kinds of bad stuff can happen. You won't be able to sit out, spooks and things like that as well. Horses do have a mind of their own. Leaves can potentially become dragons, and we just got to ride that stuff out. And the big thing here is roll the hips, roll the hips. Your booty's going to kind of reach for that back part of the saddle and come back forward with that horse's movement. It makes a little more sense, as you get a chance to look at it. Once you're feeling nice and solid at that canter, you can bring them off property, go have some trail rides, go have a little bit of fun. This is going to teach you and your horse to really work together. Look at that seat. Whoa, so proud of him. Biggest thing I would read in there for is those hands, and he's been working real hard to keep those back down. They look so cute together. Chicken wings. But yeah, once you kind of get comfortable at all these gaits, you're able to bring them off property, have a little more fun, and really work together. I do caution, of course, when you're out there, things can become very scary. It's not as controlled of an environment, but it's definitely going to show how good of a rider that you can be and how well you and your horse can work with. Ignore her. She's special, and we love her. But yeah, once you're there, go out and have some fun.
Back.
Oh, I need to see this footage.
One thing's for sure, the experience from start to finish, from barely knowing what I'm doing on a horse to being able to canter with my wife through the woods, has been an excellent one. She's definitely a wonderful teacher. Knowing that, working with the motions of your horse, whether that be at a walk or a canter or a trot, whatever the case would be, it's definitely worth it whenever you and your horse become one as a team and you're out there doing whatever it is you're doing. I used to not know at all what I'm doing on a horse. My legs are only meant for walking on my own 2 feet, not for a horse's 4 feet. But it has definitely become quite the experience to be able to ride with my wife. And as you can see, I've gotten to the point where you'll see here at the end of this video, I've gotten proper enough of a seat that I'm actually able to ride out a pretty decent spook. And I attribute all of this to what my wife has been able to teach me.
And that trend, come around the corner. We'll only make it to the final stretch. He's leading my half. He's leading my 3/4. I don't know what the heck my hands are doing, but they're